Lesson 1. What is Reiki? Reiki is an ancient Japanese scientific art of healing. This scientific art uses a medicine-less method of healing that involves a simple touch or at times even an intervention into the etheric energy layer around a person that is known as aura, just from distance. This method is the Reiki healing. In fact, everyone wants some or the other easy way to handle difficult situations in life and heal various ailments. People heal using medicines, surgery, home remedies, or diet changes or mind work or many other ways. But as against many therapies that give something to cure or correct the situation, or expect the suffering person do something, Reiki never asks the patients to do anything or follow any rules or restrictions. Other traditional and Western methods to cure make the use of visible, tangible objects or audible things like foods, herbs, chemical drugs, instruments, sounds, words that recommend shift in attitude or outlook and so on, but in Reiki, no such externally visible aid is used. This is the reason why many people find it difficult to even accept the existence of any such power like Reiki. They feel and make others feel that Reiki is a matter of belief. But actually that is not the case. Reiki is as true and as natural as the wind and light. Also, since we find that medicines and especially the synthetically manufactured chemical drugs generally have some or the other side effects and have reactions and adverse effects. That means, if a medicine is wrongly administered or given more than needed quantity, it harms a patient. So a common man fears that same thing can happen with Reiki as well. But it is nice to know that this is never the case. Reiki never causes any harm or produces any side effects or adverse effects. This is because Reiki is just an energy that works to heal the patient, place, plant or situation. This energy, being the energy of universal conscience present everywhere, has an inherent quality to produce equilibrium or harmony, or to restore the lost harmony in people, places, plants, things, animals or situations. This means, unlike the known methods of cure where we heal only ailments of people, Reiki is as useful as restoring all-round harmony. Reiki involves the use of Rei means universal light and Ki means life force energy governing all functions in universe. This helps us heal all kinds of problems seen in people, places, plants, things, animals or situations by touch or thought. Actually, Reiki is too simple to be believed by those who are used to complicated methods of healing people or plants or animals. This is a complementary aid to medicine that anyone can use after receiving Ritual, that is attunement or initiation. But those who try to practice this just by reading a book may get only a part of the healing effect that will be initiated with their own energy, not the universal life force.
Lesson 2. Meaning of Reiki. Universal Ki life force. Ki is the universal life force that exists everywhere. In fact, things that exist everywhere and have power to influence everything appear to be just an imagination to any logical mind. But we know that there is something common in everything. We experience its presence at all the times. Different people call it by different names and know it in different forms. This energy runs the whole universe. Some call it as soul, some call it as Paramatma, and some name it after different deities. In our healing stream, we call it as love of God alive. It is just there irrespective of recognition or imagination as sun, moon and air that are present everywhere. It is above all religions. We call this energy by the name of Ki, the universal life force energy that is present everywhere. Some people think or preach that Ki is a matter of belief. But that is never so. Just as we do not have to believe in the presence of light, we just have to open our eyes to see it. Even when it comes to knowing Ki, we just have to be open to understand and explore the energies around. Once we develop this openness, we can easily feel the presence of the healing and harmonizing energy that is everywhere. Then, attunement just reconnects us with this energy and we get ability to heal using this energy. Our body systems are designed to have an access to this force. This is the reason why whenever we have any pain, we automatically place our hand over the paining area. Our body mechanism is designed to heal by placing the hand over the ailing area, just as the systems of animals are designed to heal their ailing area by licking it continuously. Due to our ignorance, we are not able to establish this access. Due to disuse, many people also lose this ability to establish connection with this energy. This is why, though simple to use, many cannot use this energy in their daily routine. To regain this wonderful power, we need to undergo a complete training and have the connection to this power restored during this training by a simple procedure known as attunement that is given as a part of key training. This is where the key teacher comes into picture. A key teacher reestablishes the contact of the student with the universal life force by way of a process known as attunement or initiation. This process lets you access this universal life force and even transmit it to others for healing. As one is attuned, one may have some unique experiences. These vary from person to person. But that does not make this science objective and imaginary. The key attunement enables you to heal, not to initiate. But the healer finds the transformed life with attunement. The attunement that one gets from the teacher stays throughout the life.
Lesson 3. Unknown facts about Reiki. People say they know Reiki, they heard about Reiki, someone did Reiki on them or their family member, people emits or releases Reiki to make things happen, and so on. People talk about Reiki. They teach Reiki and insist on lineage declaration. This is because each lineage follows different ways of teaching, and do not acknowledge the lineage of other teachers. But no past Reiki teacher has taken pains to put the syllabus of Reiki in a methodical manner. As a result, people hardly have clear idea about levels of Reiki. The only commonly known levels are 1, 2, 3A, 3B, and Grandmaster. But what exactly is to be learned here is never clearly and systematically stated as yet. People talk many contradictory things about Reiki training. They also make tall claims about curing some ailments like cancer in last stage, brain hemorrhage, genetic disorders, paralysis, etc. purely with Reiki. They also talk of performing Reiki operations when such so-called Reiki healers have absolutely no medical and anatomy background at all. Such attitude of senior Reiki healers and teachers is totally disorganized. Such an irresponsible blind faith-generating attitude is responsible for distrust that many senior medical professionals have towards Reiki. Now the time has come that we must present an organized format of Reiki in front of the masses so that the seekers get a correct picture of what they must expect from their Reiki teacher, and the fake teachers will stop fooling the masses under the name of Reiki. Many teachers are just not aware of the levels that Dr. Yuzui had designed in the year 1922 when he first started teaching this method in Japan. The fact is that Dr. Yuzui had neither given the Reiki levels, nor the symbols. He gave special importance to the Reiki principles and rules that are religiously followed even today in the inner Reiki circles of Japan in the name of Gakkai. But present Reiki teachers just mention the Reiki principles and rules, and ask the seeker to recite the principles once a day, without explaining the actual importance of them and their use in personal life. They give all the importance only and only to the body positions of touch healing and make a seeker practice only the touch healing on the body for some 21 or 27 body healing positions while teaching Reiki One to a seeker. In fact, as these 21 or 27 healing positions are taught, too much importance is given to the order of healing. This means, a seeker is told that if he forgets some one position from the order, or has to stop the healing in between due to some distraction, he has to start the total healing all over again. Also, if we examine these popularly taught healing positions, we find that body areas like hands and sides are totally absent from this list of positions. Many teachers do not even have explanation about why so. While teaching to work on events as well as giving distance treatment in Reiki 2, Teachers teach many dangerous things that can actually harm and not help. They declare that your body is the body of the patient you are healing and heal your whole body by touch healing. Then stop healing and say that the healing has reached the patient. After this, many teachers do not even ask the seeker to declare that now the body belongs to them and not to the patient. This is severely dangerous. These teachers are not aware of aura and its properties and the kind of impact these energies can do on a person. By direct experience, they just go on preaching the hearsay things. So, it is mandatory for every potential healer to know why we are saying that we must never declare our body as the body of the patient. Careful reading of following can explain it. When we declare our body as body of patient, we unknowingly wear the aura of patient. Aura is much more intimate than even the private clothing one wears. This means, when we declare that our body is the body of the patient, all the good and bad energies present in the patient's aura occupy our aura. If there are some unknown energies of abnormal individual consciousness having some strong attachments for some desires and objects, with normal energies of universal consciousness, and if those energies like the healer's body, such energies may leave the patient, but may choose to start staying in the healer's aura. In such situation, the patient may feel good, but the healer may develop symptoms of the patient and start suffering. Then such people spread the message that when we give Reiki, the healer gets the ailment of the patient. We find that in spite of this fact, due to the ignorance of this vital fact, many Reiki teachers religiously teach the method of declaring ourselves as the patient, and the seekers are taught to wear the aura of another, maybe even unknown person. That is extremely dangerous and unhygienic. Many teachers say that the first 21 days of self-healing is for the internal cleansing of the seeker, and so, in first 21 days seekers is likely to undergo emotional unrest. They also say that such unrest or suffering will be a part of their cleansing process. But if such a thing really happens, the seekers need support, and in most of the cases, teachers just ask them to keep suffering instead of telling them what they must do to handle it. At times, seekers have issues in creating events. This generally happens because the seekers have some mental blocks that prevent the events from materializing. At such times, when the seekers approach their teachers, the teachers just tell them to keep giving Reiki. Actually, at such times, the seekers need to be given systematic guidance. But generally the teachers never explain how to handle these emotional blocks scientifically when they want to create event. Many times this happens, because many teachers themselves are not clear about the games that our mind plays with us, as many Reiki grandmasters teaching these teachers do not know it. Reiki 3 is supposed to be the level of Reiki master, but most of the Reiki 3 classes get over just in an hour or two, where the seeker is only given the master symbol and initiation. Mostly this is done in exchange of huge fees for the same. We rarely find a Reiki teacher who teaches how to scan and diagnose the patient. When Reiki 3 is claimed to be a master training, the teachers say, start using the master symbol, and things will automatically start happening. But is it really the case? Can we justify any university if it just take heavy fees and give some minor technique and certificate? Certainly not. Then why is this practice acceptable in the Reiki teaching fields? One has to ask this question to oneself and seek satisfactory answers to it for sure. In Reiki 3 training, the master has to be unfolded from within a seeker, and that too without giving him much energy shocks. Unfolding the master from within a person smoothly and effectively is an art that must be present in a teacher who is training a seeker for Reiki 3. But records and observations show that not many Reiki 3 teachers explain the meaning of master and teach, or explain the responsibilities as well as the do's and don'ts that a master must follow in order to be a perfect Reiki channel. If one is to become a master by doing Reiki 3, is it not necessary that one must know all this? Every seeker must take care that all these things are taught properly when he is taking the Reiki workshops. It is the responsibility of every teacher to make Reiki training imparted by him perfect. For doing so, at times, A responsible teacher has to see to it that the loose ends left by many past teachers are tied with the help of research into the studies at that time and by filling the gaps in the information by gathering direct first-hand experiences from real-life events. The teachers at Multiversity of Success are always keen in doing such a research work. As a result of such a research, Multiversity of Success has come across 2 new levels that are newly added to these traditional 8 levels since 1997 with the command of Yuzui Sensei, after 2 symbols, In and Karyo were directly given by Dr. Yuzui in an astral communication. In astral channeling during the same period, Yuzui Sensei also taught Reiki dowsing, Chitti, Reiki psychotherapy and meditation techniques to strengthen the aura of seeker. These new techniques are taught in this new level, that is level 4. This level is called Yaka. Correspondingly, there is a teacher's level for this level, known as level 8. This level is known as Yuka. Now Multiversity of Success has introduced an in-depth intensive certification for Reiki 1, 2, 3 and 4. In future, Multiversity of Success is even going to introduce in-depth teachers training programs to teach Reiki 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 in total details over the same platform where the main part of attunement will still be given in person or over Zoom meeting. Most of the people just know that Reiki has 3 levels after which there is a teacher and grandmaster level. But no one knows that the teacher levels are also subdivided into teacher of Reiki 1, of Reiki 2, Reiki 3 etc. Reiki system was known as Ronin Aura system without any specific format when Yuzui Sensei introduced it. This is because when it was introduced, education was never systematized and also Reiki was initially aimed to develop the spiritual level of people and help them attain oneness with universal consciousness, and spiritual needs differ from person to person.
Lesson 4. Who teaches? Reiki. Ki simple healing technique that involves use of Re means universal and Ki means life energy that governs all functions in universe. This helps us heal all kinds of problems seen in people, places, plants, things, animals, all situations by touch or by thought. Actually, Reiki is too simple to be believed by those who are used to complicated methods healing people, plants and animals. This is a complementary aid to medicine that anyone can use after receiving Ru, that is, attunement or initiation. If anyone tries to practice Reiki just by reading the books without getting Ru or initiation, such person may give his own energy while healing and at the end may get either depleted or get the problem of the patient for himself, because such a person is not giving Reiki but is just exchanging his positive energies with the negative energies of the patient, and this is a very dangerous situation. But many people do not understand this and feel that because this is for universal life force energy that is present everywhere, anyone can have access to it. It is true that universal life force is accessible to all, but only those who have learned to connect with this energy can access this energy and use it for the benefit of others. That means only the enlightened people know how to use the universal life force energy to create or change situations. Some people may think that they are enlightened, but if they are really enlightened, then are they able to maintain the balance and peacefulness of mind in every situation? If that is not possible, such people should better understand that they are not enlightened people and that they need the proper attunement or Ru for initiation to get connected with this universal life force in order to be able to heal. We also find that some people feel that they can give the key power to anyone just because they have learned how to heal by touch, but that is not so. How to place hands and produce healing is not the only thing that one learns in the class of Reiki 1 that teaches touch healing. Here, along with the above things, one also learns how to think and how to behave in responsible manner while talking to a patient, and the most important thing in healing is that just placing the hand is not enough. Having that hand connected with the universal life force energy is necessary. And to be able to establish that connection, one has to be a properly trained Reiki teacher. This means, a properly trained Reiki teacher is necessary to teach Reiki. Whenever one wants to learn Reiki, one has to approach properly known good appropriate teacher and learn Reiki from such a teacher. One must learn about right and good key teacher, and choose a right teacher, because when you choose a key teacher, you trust and allow the teacher to access your energies. A wrong teacher may misuse this trust and harm you. This is the reason why we must first know who is the key teacher and then know what it means to be a good key teacher, a right key teacher in contrast with a bad key teacher and a wrongful key teacher. Knowing this is absolutely necessary for the spiritual hygiene of every individual and at the same time for the general well-being and the spiritual hygiene of the society on the whole. To understand this statement, we must know the abilities a key teacher must have and know what a teacher actually does while imparting the Ru. Here is a list of abilities one must have to qualify as a key teacher. 1. Analytical mind. 2. Practical attitude. 3. Have pure compassion for all. 4. Ability to extend selfless help. 5. Lucid way of explaining things. 6. Clean helpful heart full of affection. 7. Openness to learn every new thing. 8. Respectful expression and language. 9. Readiness to help all unconditionally. 10. Ability to appreciate unconditionally. 11. Total control on one's own emotions. 12. Readiness to accept one's own limitations. 13. Ability to see positive things in everything. 14. Desire to learn and understand everything. 15. Desire to analyze every aspect of all events. 16. Readiness to accept limits of things one learned. 17. Patience to students' limits and wish explain again. 18. Readiness to introduce he before teaching. 19. Readiness to explain how one learned he. 20. Knowledge of all aspects of the subject. 21. Ability to impart Ru or attunement. When a person has all these above qualities, the seeker may register with such a teacher and safely learn he from such a teacher. But unfortunately, we find that in present times, there are many recorded sites that claim to teach he and impart the Ru or attunement through a recorded video. The seekers must understand that Ru is a process of awakening the spiritual abilities from within a seeker, and this process is totally subjective as the spiritual awareness completion needs differ from person to person, and this process cannot be mechanical. This means, those who just take he attunement over a site are under an illusion that they have received he attunement, and actually, they are just healing with their own energies. This is the reason why here in our key training course set for each key level, after successful completion of all theory courses, the attunement or initiation is given by the teacher in a live session over video call after a small interaction with each seeker, either in a group or individually, so that the trainer understands the learning needs of each student and plans the Ru accordingly, and also explains some key healing things to each seeker that he needs to handle his healing and spiritual completion needs.
Lesson 5. Qualities of a good Reiki teacher. A good teacher is a teacher who understands the learning needs of his student and really takes care of all the learning needs of his student. This obviously means that the teacher must have a pure heart and perfect knowledge of the subject he is teaching. This is a common rule of testing a good teacher that applies to all teachers of all subjects, all arts and sciences. Even if the above definition explains the qualities of a good Reiki teacher as well, for easy understanding, we need a detailed list of abilities one must have to qualify as a good Reiki teacher. Here are the major qualities a good Reiki teacher must have. 1. All qualities of a Reiki teacher stated above. 2. Practical way of thinking about life and its needs. 3. Thought that help given is never a favor on anyone. 4. Ability to spread goodness around just by his being. 5. Lucid simple way of living a positive virtuous life. 6. Readiness to accept one's limits and work on them. 7. Openness to learn every new thing needed to grow. 8. Respectful expression and language for all around us. 9. Readiness to find answers to all queries of seeker. 10. Ability to appreciate abilities of seeker unconditionally. 11. Modesty about one's limits and readiness show better ways. 12. Respect for all genuine teachers of all healing modalities. 13. Ability to be proud of student growing better than himself. 14. Readiness to learn and understand good things from anyone. 15. Readiness to analyze and introspect for self-improvement. 16. Readiness to accept limits of known things and methods. 17. Patience to limits of student and readiness explain again. 18. Ability to know all the strengths and weakness of seeker. 19. Readiness to help seeker minimize all his weaknesses. 20. Readiness to help seeker to maximize all his abilities. 21. Readiness to encourage the inquisitiveness of seeker. Since there are many who teach Reiki throughout the globe, though many are really genuine and learned, there are a few who are not so. These fake ones spoil the name of this wonderful scientific healing art. It is very necessary for a common man to know the difference between genuine, authentic, pure good trainer or healer and a fake healer or a trainer. This means, when anyone is looking forwards to learn Reiki, if one looks for the above qualities while choosing a teacher, one can minimize the chance to come across a wrong teacher and get cheated. Lesson 6. Qualities of a right Reiki teacher. There is a difference between good and right teacher. Every good teacher need not be a right teacher for everyone. This is the reason why we must also check the qualities that a teacher must have to qualify as a right teacher for any seeker. Here we are going to see the qualities that a right teacher must have. A right teacher must be certainly a good teacher, but in addition to being good, such a teacher must have to be compatible with the seeker. Just as when we go to buy clothes, we find that there are many clothes that are very good, but only a few of them fit us both in terms of body fit and pocket fit, means affordability, and so only a few are right for us. Exactly like that, even when there are many good Reiki teachers, only a few teachers are seen to have a capacity to be appropriate and right teachers for each seeker. Here is a list of qualities one must see in a teacher to recognize a good teacher as a right Reiki teacher. 1. Academic qualification. The academic qualification of the teacher must be slightly higher than that of a seeker. 2. Lifestyle. The teacher must belong to same or similar lifestyle to which a seeker belongs, or the teacher who is teaching anything must at least be aware of the lifestyle of the seeker. 3. Language. Teacher must be able to teach in the language that a seeker can speak or the seeker is comfortable with. 4. Awareness level. The general awareness level and belief set of the teacher must be much more mature than that of the seeker. 5. A right teacher asks for reason why the seeker is looking forward to learn Reiki. Before accepting a seeker, the teacher asks a seeker why he wants to learn Reiki. This helps the teacher understand the specific learning needs of the seeker, and the right teacher takes care of them during the training. 6. A right teacher asks questions that explain the seeker's background. Prior to admitting a seeker as a student, a right teacher asks for the background of the students through some questions. This helps the teacher know about the psychosocioeconomic conditions of the seeker. Then, if the seeker's background is totally different, he recommends another good teacher who is right for that seeker, or otherwise he accepts the seeker and accordingly plans the course of his training. 7. A right teacher has an awareness of psychosocioeconomic conditions of seeker. A teacher is right for a seeker when he has a clear awareness and respect for the psychological, social as well as economic conditions of the seeker. 8. A right teacher has compassion for the seeker. When a teacher has an insight into the conditions of the seeker, a right teacher has compassion for his conditions, while a wrong or wrongful teacher may try to take undue advantage of these conditions. 9. A right teacher has a desire as well as a habit of extending timely support to seeker. On seeing the seeker is or is likely to be getting into problem, right teacher extends timely support to the seeker in times of his need and helps the seeker overcome the problem, while a wrongful teacher takes perfect advantage of it for his own benefit. 10. A right teacher has both capacity as well as genuine honest intention to help. A right teacher has both intention and capacity to help his student. But on the other hand, when student is in trouble, a wrong teacher cannot help him and a wrongful teacher tries to extract their own benefit out of it. 11. A right teacher has a capacity to explain things using known examples and situations. When one is explained with the examples that are close to the heart of the seeker understands different points perfectly well. A right teacher can explain almost everything in this manner perfectly in almost every situation. 12. A right teacher has a capacity to help a seeker have control on his emotions. When Reiki is being taught, one learns to have control on his emotions, but in some critical situations, seeker find it difficult to control emotions and the right teacher shows him a right path and easy ways to handle emotions in such situations. 13. A right teacher has a general tendency of encouraging the seeker to grow in life. When a teacher knows that the seeker has a capacity to grow much more powerful and overshadow the teacher, a right teacher encourages him and is always proud of such a capable student, while a wrong teacher is jealous of such a seeker and keeps finding faults with him, and a wrongful teacher tries to discourage him and or tries to harm him emotionally or energetically in order to suppress and destroy the abilities of such seeker. 14. A right teacher has a general tendency of making a seeker self-sufficient. At times, seeker becomes emotionally dependent on a Reiki teacher. When a teacher finds that the seeker is getting too much dependent on him, a right teacher encourages and makes the seeker become self-sufficient, while a wrong teacher enjoys the incapability of the seeker to boost his own ego, and a wrongful teacher takes undue advantage of such a seeker. 15. A right teacher has a general awareness of the spiritual position of Reiki in seeker's life. Reiki acquires a very prime position in the spiritual life of a seeker if the use and importance of Reiki is well explained. After understanding the spiritual needs of the seeker, a right teacher shows how Reiki can be a simple path towards enlightenment. 16. A right teacher has a general tendency of respecting the belief systems of the seeker. At times, seekers are too possessive about their belief system. A right teacher never touches this belief system and just induces the desire of developing a general awareness about everything in his mind. On the other hand, a wrong teacher may mock at the belief system of the seeker, and a wrongful teacher might try to replace that belief system with belief for him. 17. A right teacher has a general tendency of motivating the seeker to develop himself into a powerful being. A seeker who approaches a teacher for Reiki One is totally new and does not know much about Reiki. At times he is looking at Reiki just as one looks at a medicine that is to be used just for the time being. A right teacher not only shows the seeker how to use Reiki as a remedy for self and one's own near and dear, but also motivates him to explore into the possibilities of using Reiki for other things in life. 18. A right teacher has a general tendency of having a readiness to extend lifetime support to seeker. A right teacher is connected to the student even after the training is completed. This is where the teacher is available for guidance for the seeker any time when he needs the teacher. The teachers, who teach Reiki only for commercial purpose, take money and go away. They are never traceable after the training, but a right teacher as a person or as a team is always approachable and ready for support for a seeker. 19. A right teacher has a general tendency of introducing Reiki with some practical support. At times, a right teacher initially extends a selfless Reiki support to people around whenever they need help, and then after their problem is successfully solved, they may casually introduce Reiki and how Reiki had helped them. This is a very powerful way to introduce Reiki that many right teachers are seen to follow as they enroll people in their Reiki classes. 20. A right teacher has a readiness to discuss all real-life situations in the light of Reiki. Reiki is a scientific art of healing and it cannot be kept away from our daily life. So, a right teacher has the capacity to explain and interpret the daily life situations and developments in the light of Reiki and its effects on the life of a person to impart a better understanding of life to the seekers. These are some major qualities one must look for in any teacher to decide whether a teacher is right for oneself or not. Lesson 7. Good vs bad and right vs wrong vs wrongful Reiki teacher. We have seen the description of a good and a right teacher above. But we must know that every good teacher is not right for everyone. Just as there are many good dresses but all good dresses do not fit everyone. A dress that is good for a person must be the one that fits as well as suits the person. Exactly like that, when a good teacher can address and fulfill the specific requirements of a seeker, the teacher can be taken as right for that seeker. Here we are going to compare the qualities of good and bad teacher, and also we are going to compare the qualities of right, wrong and wrongful teachers. This is because, a wrong teacher is the one who may be good, but does not fit the requirements of a seeker, whereas, a wrongful teacher who is not even likely to be a good person, is neither good nor suitable because the intent of such a person itself is malified and he just wants to extract advantage out of every situation while causing harm to the seeker. A wrong teacher may never want to harm a seeker. It is just that he may not be able to fulfill all his learning needs. But a wrongful teacher will see to it that the abilities of the seeker are minimized and the weaknesses of the seeker are maximized in such a way that the seeker becomes an emotional slave of this teacher and keeps following this teacher totally. The wrongful teacher sees to it that the seeker never goes away from the shelter of such a teacher and also keeps bringing more and more seekers who can become similar emotional slaves of such a teacher. As this teacher does this, he also takes care that the confidence of such a seeker is minimized, and yet he blames others for such a loss of confidence by the seeker. This means, everyone must know the differences between a good and bad and also between a right, wrong and wrongful Reiki teacher before learning Reiki, as knowing this is certainly going to help everyone select a right teacher for himself or herself. In fact, these categories of teachers are universally seen. But why this is especially important as far as Reiki is concerned is because in Reiki, there is no objective yardstick that is laid down by any university or similar authority, and this is the reason why in Reiki, the malpractices are more likely to be undiscovered and so regularly continuing as compared to other formal sciences of study where one has a systematically laid down syllabus and a systematically decided method of study and of teaching. Also in Reiki there is no way to test whether the seeker has properly received the knowledge or not, as in case of other courses where there are regular tests, exams and practicals to verify that the seeker has learned well. This is the reason why it was necessary to lay down the yardsticks of a good, bad, right, wrong, wrongful teacher. Here are the comparisons in tabular form for easy understanding. Good and bad teacher compared. Good teacher, bad teacher. 1. All qualities of a Reiki teacher may not be Reiki teacher. 2. Practical way of thinking about life has impractical strong beliefs. 3. Helps selflessly, and never as a favor, helps as a favor or doesn't help. 4. Ability to spread goodness around, no such capability. 5. Lucid simple way of living a positive virtuous life, may have many strict rules about life. 6. Readiness to accept one's limits and work on them, thinks that he is the best. 7. Openness to learn new things, no desire to learn new things. 8. Respectful expression and language, disrespect for some people. 9. Readiness to find answers to all queries of seeker, habit of putting question stoppers to queries. 10. Ability to appreciate abilities of seeker unconditionally, jealousy for a capable seeker. 11. Modesty about one's limits and readiness, show better ways projecting that one has limitless abilities. 12. Respect for all genuine teachers of all healing modalities, disrespect for other modalities and teachers. 13. Ability to be proud of student growing better than himself, jealousy for student who is better than him. 14. Readiness to learn and understand good things from anyone, no desire to learn from weaker people. 15. Readiness to analyze and introspect for self-improvement, not open to self-analysis. 16. Readiness to accept limits of known things and methods, not open to accepting limits. 17. Patience to limits of student and readiness, explain again, not ready to help student with limits. 18. Ability to know all the strengths and weakness of seeker, no such ability. 19. Readiness to help seeker minimize all his weaknesses, tendency to take advantage of weaknesses. 20. Readiness to help seeker to maximize all his abilities, tendency to give inferiority feeling to good ones. 21. Readiness to encourage the inquisitiveness of seeker, tendency to suppress inquisitiveness. Right, wrong and wrongful teacher compared. Right teacher, wrongful teacher. 1. Compatible academic qualification and compatible educational status, NA. 2. Compatible lifestyle and compatible lifestyle, NA. 3. Compatible language, incompatible language, NA. 4. Compatible awareness level, incompatible awareness level, NA. 5. Desire to know reason of learning, neutral attitude towards reasons, excessive curiosity. 6. Inquiry into seeker background, neutral towards background, excessive curiosity. 7. Knows psycho-socio-economic status, neutral towards these things, excessive curiosity. 8. Compassion for the seeker, not much no. 9. Extending timely support to seeker, not likely no. 10. Capacity as well as intent to help, may or may not be no. 11. Explains with known examples and events, may not to due to different status, NA. 12. Helps seeker have control on emotions, may or may not uses the emotions of seeker. 13. Encourages seeker grow in life, may or may not, mostly not. 14. Making seeker self-sufficient, may or may not, tries to keep seeker dependent. 15. Knows position of Reiki in seeker's life, may or may not, may or may not. 16. Respect for seeker's belief systems, may or may not, does not. 17. Motivates seeker to be a powerful being, may or may not, never. 18. Ready to extend lifetime support, maybe tells so, to enslave the seeker. 19. Introduce Reiki with practical support, maybe. 20. Discuss real situations in light of Reiki, not generally, not actually. The above points of comparison can explain very clearly why one must always take care to find out and choose a good and right teacher for learning Reiki or any spiritual science. One must remember that when one selects any Reiki teacher or a teacher of any spiritual science, he is handing over some of his life controls unknowingly to his teachers with the same faith with which a small child surrenders totally to his mother. In such a case, one must remember that if one unknowingly surrenders to a wrong or wrongful person, that person may end up knowingly or unknowingly, deliberately or not deliberately, end up on playing with the spiritual energies one has, and as a result of this, one is sure to suffer from any type of great harm, and by the time such harm is detected by the person suffering from such a harm, it may be too late to correct the situation and save oneself or one's career or family or relationships. So, knowing the difference between both good and bad teacher, or rather good and bad human beings, as well as between right, wrong and wrongful teachers, or rather right, wrong and wrongful persons, is absolutely necessary for everyone who wants to lead a successful and happy life. Unfortunately, not many Reiki teachers talk about such an analysis of teachers or healers and explain the risks involved in choosing wrongful and bad teachers or healers. This happens because many such teachers themselves are not having that type of in-depth insight into human psychology and spirituality and psycho-spiritual energy work that happens during spiritual development that gets initiated with Reiki initiation. Lesson 8. Need for a right Reiki teacher. Many people teach Reiki. Some are near you, some are not. Some are popular, some are not. Some charge high fees, some not. Some have their shows of TV, some not. Some go to hospitals for healing, some not. Some are also into some other profession, some not. Some are full-time Reiki teachers, some not. Some have Reiki teaching as their only source of income, some not. Some have a large number of academic qualifications, some not. Some have a large number of fan following, some not. Some teach many modalities of healing, some not. Some ask you to follow too many restrictions, some not. All this makes a seeker confused. One really finds it difficult to select a right Reiki teacher. Also, one comes across lots of conversations about side effects of Reiki and so on that at times people actually get scared. This is not enough. The social media is also pouring a lot of information regularly on Reiki that confuses the common people. There are a number of sites and videos that claim give free Reiki initiation or that teach how to take your own Reiki initiation. Many innocent people follow these and imagine that now they have become Reiki channels. But this is not true. The energy healing methods like Reiki cannot be achieved without appropriate spiritual growth or without a right teacher. Of course, choosing a right teacher is very important in any type of learning in life. To teach Reiki, one has to receive a specific training, where one has to learn how to find out and handle energy blocks in a Reiki seeker, help the Reiki seeker have an appropriate attitude to look at life, how to show the areas of thinking where the seeker is stuck due to which his progress of success is getting affected, how to handle the relationships beautifully, how to learn to receive benefit in every situation, how to be full of gratitude and affection in life in spite of any situation and any type of treatment one receives from others, and how to heal one's own self as well as others of their physical, mental, emotional and financial issues. This means, just by learning the first or second level of Reiki oneself, one cannot teach it. Nor can one learn or teach Reiki over any site or video. But many times, people feel that once they learn Reiki, they can teach it. They may be able to tell about Reiki and impart the information that is already available on net. But this is a pure myth. Many times, there are energy traps laid down in such sites that eventually start sucking the positive energies of such quick seekers who start feeling weak in some days and develop some incurable ailments. The right and appropriate Reiki teacher finds the spiritual development needs and success and attitude modification needs of the seeker and addresses issues of seekers accordingly right from level 1 of Reiki training. This clarification is very much needed here, because many people try or teach Reiki without being a properly trained competent Reiki teacher. Such people may claim to impart training, they may even claim to impart Reiki initiation. But such energy work has a risk of energy trap. The energies of those who take training by shortcut method may get trapped in such traps, and these people may find severe depletion in their energies after getting trained as they start practicing Reiki healing. There is conception in Reiki healers who learn Reiki by such quick cheap ways that when we heal others, our energy goes away, etc. Such people then start spreading this conception in people who do not know of Reiki. This is the reason why this is a categorical warning to new Reiki seekers not to risk them by going to cheap, quick, unprofessional, unqualified teacher or any Reiki initiating site or any Reiki initiating video. Each Reiki seeker must first check if teacher one is choosing is a perfect teacher or not. If one does not do this, one may need to face grave circumstances arising out of a wrong or wrongful teacher. I am certainly distinguishing between wrong and wrongful. Wrong teacher is the one who is not appropriate for that particular seeker. As a teacher he may be very good, but may be that particular seeker has different type of learning needs and so, needs a different type of a teacher. So, we can say that a wrong teacher is just wrong in given situation or for the given seeker. It is just as placing circle at place where square is needed. Wrongful teacher is a person who may or may not be having appropriate and adequate teaching abilities, but he certainly has malefied intentions. Lesson 9. Levels of Reiki. Reiki has 10 levels. Out of this, Reiki healing is taught in 4 levels. After this, there are 4 levels of Reiki teacher, 1 level of Reiki Grandmaster and 1 level of Reiki Great Grandmaster. This literature of Reiki One will give you the basic idea of Reiki, and as you get attuned, you can heal yourself as well as others by touch. You can even heal some objects and things and places by touch if you try that too. We have heard of some spiritually developed people doing such things earlier, but I am sure you must never have believed those stories to be true. Now, as you get attuned into Reiki, you will realize that even you can do this. Naturally, you will know that this works. In Reiki 2, you will learn to heal people and places and things and events that are not there in front of you. Also from Reiki 3 onwards, you will be able to know where the problem is when a person complains of ailment. In Reiki 4, you will know about basic anatomy, as it is very much necessary to heal the physical body of a person. Also, you will learn many different ways to detect the problem area and heal it. Once you master all these 4 levels, if you feel that you wish to learn how to attune and teach this wonderful method to others, you may learn further 6 levels that will make you a Reiki teacher, a Reiki Grandmaster and a Reiki Great Grandmaster. Of course, learning teachers levels is never so easy like learning this first level of Reiki, as in these levels, a very deep cleansing of the inner self happens, and once this is done, you are taught the methods of teaching as well as attuning at various levels. Let us see all these 10 levels of Reiki in details. Reiki has 10 levels. Of these, first 4 levels are the practitioner's levels. Next 6 are the teacher's levels. Yet even these are further classified into 4 teacher's levels. These are followed by 2 further levels. These are 1 Grandmaster's level and 1 Great Grandmaster's level. Commonly people are not even aware of all these Reiki levels and also of the subdivisions of teachers' training. In fact, commonly known levels of Reiki are just Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Reiki 3A, Reiki 3B, and Reiki Grandmaster. This is the reason why there might be a resistance from some Reiki communities to accept and respect this detailed syllabus of Reiki. But those who are learning and reading with neutral mind can understand and respect the fact that whatever was being taught without actually detailed definition and classification is actually being classified in details now. Let us see the syllabus of different levels of Reiki. Reiki practitioners levels. These are 4 levels. Reiki 1 equals Rokyu equals Shodan equals Shuyokai. Duration equals 3 to 4 hours in person. 1 History of Reiki. 2 Principles of Reiki. 3 Rules of Reiki. 4 Body positions to heal. 5 Chakras. Reiki 2 equals Goku equals Zukudan. Duration equals 3 to 4 hours in person. 1 Symbols of Reiki. 2 Uses of symbols of Reiki. 3 Method of distance healing. 4 Things that you can heal. 5 Chakra meditation. Reiki 3 equals Yonku equals Shinpidan. Duration equals 3 to 4 hours in person. 1 Master symbols of Reiki. 2 Uses of master symbols of Reiki. 3 Method of using new symbols of Reiki. 4 Meaning of master, abilities and duties of master. 5 Basic scanning. Reiki 4 equals Yaka equals Zenshindan. Duration equals 30 hours in personal training. 1 Advanced symbols of Reiki. 2 Uses of advanced symbols of Reiki. 3 Method of using new symbols of Reiki. 4 Basic Chidi Reiki. 5 Basic Akareiki. 6 Basic Reiki dowsing. 7 Basic meditation. 8 Basic anatomy. 9 Basic Karuna Reiki. 10 Advanced scanning. Reiki teachers levels. These contain 4 teachers levels. These are followed by 2 further levels. These are 1 Grandmaster's level and 1 Great Grandmaster's level. Here each level requires organizing of classes by the teacher under training. This is especially needed to help the seekers of Reiki teachers training learn how to make common people aware of Reiki. Reiki 5 equals Sanka equals Teacher 1, Teacher of Reiki 1. Equals Shodan Sensei. 5 Lessons of Theory of How to Teach. 1 History of Reiki. 2 Principles of Reiki. 3 Rules of Reiki. 4 Body Positions to Heal. 5 Chakras. During 10 classes of practical training organized by teacher under training plus learning Attunement of Reiki One. 5 days of training of 3 hours each plus practical training clubbed with the classes that the seeker organizes. Reiki 6 equals Nika equals. Teacher 2, Teacher of Reiki 2. Equals Akidan Sensei. 5 Lessons of Theory of How to Teach. 1 Symbols of Reiki. 2 Uses of Symbols of Reiki. 3 Method of Distance Healing. 4 Things that you can heal. 5 Chakra Meditation. During 10 classes of practical training organized by teacher under training plus learning Attunement of Reiki 2. 5 days of training of 3 hours each plus practical training clubbed with the classes that the seeker organizes. Reiki 7 equals Ika equals. Teacher 3, Teacher of Reiki 3. Equals Shinpi Dan Sensei. 5 Lessons of Theory of How to Teach. 1 Master Symbols of Reiki. 2 Uses of Master Symbols of Reiki. 3 Method of using new symbols of Reiki. 4 Meaning of a Master, Duties of a Reiki Master. 5 Basic Scanning. During 10 classes of practical training organized by teacher under training plus learning Attunement of Reiki 3. 5 days of training of 3 hours each plus practical training clubbed with the classes that the seeker organizes. Reiki 8 equals Yuka equals. Teacher 4, Teacher of Reiki 4. Equals Zenshin Dan Sensei. 10 Lessons of Theory of How to Teach. 1 Advanced Symbols of Reiki. 2 Uses of Advanced Symbols of Reiki. 3 Method of using new symbols of Reiki. 4 Basic Chidi Reiki. 5 Basic Akareiki. 6 Basic Reiki Dowsing. 7 Basic Meditation. 8 Basic Anatomy. 9 Basic Karuna Reiki. 10 Advanced Scanning. During 20 classes of practical training organized by teacher under training plus learning Attunement of Reiki 4. 10 days of training of 3 hours each plus practical training clubbed with the classes that the seeker organizes. Reiki Grandmaster Level. Reiki 9 equals Shodan equals. Grandmaster, Teacher of Reiki Teacher. Equals Kiyoshino Sensei. 15 Lessons of Theory of How to Teach. 1 Responsibilities of a Teacher. 2 Right expression of words about Reiki. 3 Claims of Reiki. 4 Real and fake claims made by people about Reiki. 5 How to avoid unrealistic claims. 6 Clarity of expression. 7 Effective communication. 8 Knowing and handling the problems of a potential teacher. 9 Clearing the mind of a potential teacher. 10 Using the scanning to find out hidden problems. During 10 classes of practical training organized by teacher under training plus learning Attunement of a Teacher. 15 days of training of 3 hours each plus practical training clubbed with the classes that the seeker organizes. Reiki Great Grandmaster Level. Reiki 10 equals Nidan equals. Great Grandmaster, Teacher of Reiki Grandmaster. Equals Gyurta Gorando Mesuda no Sensei. 21 Lessons of Theory of How to Teach. 1 Responsibilities of a Grandmaster. 2 Need to spread the science of Reiki. 3 Ways to spread the awareness of Reiki. 4 Social service with Reiki. 5 Scanning a person for the eligibility to be a Great Grandmaster. 6 Meditations to enhance the spiritual level. 7 Purity check of self and the Grandmaster under training. 8 Reaching the stillness within. 9 Practicing unconditional love. 10 Being Reiki. During 10 classes of practical training organized by teacher under training plus learning self-attunement of a Great Grandmaster. 5 days of training of 3 hours each plus practical training clubbed with classes that seeker organizes. Anyways, let us now start with the basic introduction to Reiki and move further with the speed you choose. Here in the first level, We learn how Reiki originated, and what must be our mindset while healing with Reiki, and how we can heal by touch. Lesson 10. What you learn in Reiki 1. The different levels of Reiki have different names. Of course, all these levels are popularly called just as Reiki 1, Reiki 2 and Reiki 3 etc. This is because even not many Reiki teachers are aware of these actual names. The first level, that is the first part of Reiki certification, is called as Shiden. The training of the same is called as Sha-iokai. In Sha-iokai, that is Reiki 1, Shiden, in Japanese, meaning elementary, entry teachings, we learn to heal by touch. Also here the seekers get to know about this wonderful science that is so simple. We learn about principles of Reiki that let us lead our life more powerfully, about the rules of Reiki that help us be grounded with this wonderful power to change our life and of others and nature, and many such things. Let us see all the things a Reiki 1 seeker learns during the course of getting the Reiki 1 certification course provided at Multiversity of Success. List of Reiki 1 related courses. 1. Introduction to Reiki. We have seen all the lessons of this course above. This is just to introduce this wonderful healing method in a scientific manner. This is a free course that tells everyone about what is Reiki and how it can enrich the life of every seeker in the simple, easy and yet powerful manner. Detailed introduction to Reiki is very necessary, as there are many who teach Reiki throughout the globe. And of these Reiki teacher, many are really genuine and very much learned, but there are a few who are not so. And these fake ones spoil the name of this wonderful scientific healing art. So, it is very necessary for a common man to know the difference between genuine, authentic, pure good trainer or healer and a fake healer or a trainer. 2. History of Reiki and life of Dr. Mikao Yuzui. Dr. Mikao Yuzui, originally known as Yuzui Sensei, was the founder of this wonderful healing art, as he rediscovered this method and extended it for the masses. In this course, the seekers learn a complete authentic life history of him that is compiled after a detailed, painstaking research work by our Reiki trainers. Almost all Reiki healers know that Dr. Mikao Yuzui was the founder of Reiki who rediscovered Reiki. But very few know all authentic things about him. There are many different myths about him, and so, a Reiki seeker must know the difference between myths and facts about the founder of Reiki in real sense. This is a small effort towards the same. 3. Known traditions of Reiki. Reiki is taught in many ways and formats throughout the globe. We have no comments about this difference in the methods, but we certainly feel that all the seekers must know about all such methods or Reiki prevalent in the globe. We have tried cover about these methods after some research into various traditions of Reiki taught all over the globe in this course. 4. Professional ethics and attitude. Professional ethics is the basic code of conduct required for any professional. This indicates the set of moral rules that every profession requires. Some rules of professional ethics are common to all professions and some differ from profession to profession. Here we see the rules needed for a good Reiki healer. Attitude is the mindset. When one heals with positive attitude, healing is effective. We all know that our attitude is responsible for most of the events that happen around us. Here we are going to learn this and also see which results happen only due to positive attitude and which with positive attitude and Reiki. Actually, this course is useful not only for a Reiki healer but for all. 5. Vocabulary for a Reiki healer. Vocabulary is the set of words one uses while talking about Reiki healing. A responsible healer uses the right set of words while talking about Reiki. This gives right impression about Reiki to a listener. But we find that many times people talk many things about Reiki that are not true. Such ways of thinking and such words about Reiki arise out of the wrong vocabulary. An inappropriate vocabulary gives an impression that Reiki is like a weapon that can also be used to harm a person and so on. Such conversations must certainly be discouraged, and the fact that Reiki is an energy that restores the lost harmony must be made clear during every Reiki healing or teaching session. For this, knowing right vocabulary is needed for every good healer and teacher. Not all healers know the right vocabulary, so it is necessary to learn it in a separate course here. 6. Principles of Reiki. Principles of Reiki indicate the basic foundation behavior set that every Reiki healer is expected to follow. Most of the times, these are just chanted every day as mantras, but not followed in daily life. This is the actual reason why all Reiki healers are not equally powerful healers. A good healer must live the Reiki principles, and here one learns the same. One learns the core meaning of each Reiki principle such that each principle actually syncs with the being of the healer, and a Reiki healer starts living Reiki principles in real sense. 7. Rules of Reiki. Rules of Reiki indicate the restrictions that every Reiki healer must follow as he is healing. These are the basic moral rules that make the foundation of the professional ethics, and yet, the professional ethics are further expanded as per the needs of the present time. The rules of Reiki tell a healer about things and attitudes from which a healer must refrain himself. 8. Reiki healing positions. When we are healing with Reiki, we heal on certain body points just because these are the points from which the Reiki energy enters the body with least resistance. This course explains the original healing positions that Dr. Yuzui used to use, and also the extended set of healing positions that are being taught by different healers, with the largest number of 65 healing positions. 9. Treating with Reiki. This course contains things that Reiki One healer must remember while healing a patient. Just knowing healing positions is not enough for a good Reiki healer. One must know how to heal rightly to get best results. These bullet points change from level to level for various levels of Reiki. This means, though the healing positions are the same, the method and speed of healing differ from level to level, as one upgrades Reiki levels during his Reiki training. 10. Post-treatment care. After the Reiki healing session is done, a healer must ask the patient to do a few things, and also he himself must do a few things in order to cut the connection of healing energies with the patient for the time being in order to produce best possible results. Also, some shifts in thinking are needed to see to it that the patient does not attract the problem back unknowingly. Generally, existing Reiki trainings do not contain a detailed training of these things, but since this is vitally important both for maintaining the health and well-being of the healer as well as letting the healer get best possible results during his healing, here we have added this separate course. 11. Chakras and their functions. Chakras are the energy centers in our body. There are many branches of study that talks about chakras. Here in this course we are going to have absolutely realistic information of chakras such that any seeker can actually feel the presence of chakras in his body during the course of training as one learns. This means, the course of chakras here is not just about theory and about what is stated about chakras in various scriptures and methodologies. It tells you how to feel your own chakra and check if it is strong or weak. 12. Daily meditations for Reiki One. As one gets ready to get initiated into Reiki One, a seeker is expected to purify his energies and his being in general. This does not require the do's and don'ts regarding food habits and so on. But it certainly requires refinement of the internal being. The daily meditations taught here are exactly aimed at this. Here a seeker learns how to refine one's being from within in the most simple manner and get ready to become a great healer. 13. Limitations of Reiki One. Every method of cure has its own limitations, and this rule applies even to Reiki. Many people do not accept this, but we all are humans and we must be practical. So, as one is getting ready to become a Reiki One healer, one must know what is possible with Reiki One and what is not possible. Also, one must know the difference between the human limits, energy limits, and the celestial limits. This means a healer must understand the limit-causing factors and then act accordingly if one really wants to overcome them in any case. 14. Attunement of Reiki One. Here the seeker receives the Reiki One attunement or initiation or Reiju in a Zoom meeting where the teacher is connected on a video call with all the seekers who are also present on a video call. That means even if they are not physically connected to receive the Reiki, they are virtually connected, and both the teacher and the students can talk and communicate with each other for some time before the Reiki actually happens. In this session, the seekers can also ask their doubts about previous courses learned by them to the teacher after the Reiki session during the attunement session and receive a satisfactory explanation from the Reiki One teacher imparting Reiki. 15. Certification as Reiki One practitioner. This is a test as well as assignment round for Reiki One certification. Here, seeker answers questions on all 14 previous courses in 14 different question paper sets, where each set contains about 100 multiple choice questions that the seeker has already answered as preparation tests during the previous courses. The seeker can attempt just one paper a day. That means he has to start this immediately after attunement to get certified within 21 days. In addition, the seeker has to submit assignments about his daily self-healing experiences throughout 21 days after attunement. Once the seeker completes both and trainer certifies that the assignments are up to the mark, the seeker is certified as a Reiki One healer. 21 days after attunement,